I closed. I had to wander.
And then I said, how big is it? Okay, that's enough of that.
You love it. One time we'll get that cleaned up. I swear.
One time
That's
we'll
just
get it.
going to be the recurring comment.
It seems like it is. Hey and hi Charles, hi everyone else, and welcome to the Geek Spot News Program, Christmassy edition. It's a little
It
Christmassy.
is Christmassy.
It's
It's
the
very
ugly,
Christmassy. We're
ugly
always Christmassy.
yes, it's the ugly sweater, my ugly sweater, Jack's ornament nipples that you can't see because they're too low, but you know, I wish I had a red. See, look at my
See,
dog.
there you go. There you go. See,
We have a dog here.
the
Yeah,
audio listeners are just have to use their imaginations.
yeah. This won me second place at work. In a,
Very nice.
I got second place in costume. In costume. So they added a
Ooh.
category because we were that awesome. And then in the Christmas tree decorating, they added a category for presentation because I sat in a chair and read the tickets that we put on our tree. Um, we did
Oh,
desk tickets. It was really funny. And there, look, it is. Hey T, hey Dom. Dom thought Jack was shirtless. That's awesome. Jack
dude,
doesn't.
look, it's got. I got all sorts of festive tattoos.
I don't have the
Got all
tattoo.
the things. Yeah.
Mine was workplace appropriate.
The first time I saw mine, a lawyer where I worked was wearing it.
Okay,
So
that
I
one.
was like, so I guess I'm safe.
Yep, yep.
I would assume he passed ethics, so I was good.
Well, did he pass it or you know?
I don't know. Whichever. He
Um,
decided for him it was good.
so wait, so how's your week been? Oh, I gotta turn the heat up. Fuck, it's cold.
My week has been crazy, so it has finally slowed down. So I'm excited for that. We had concerts galore, and I was all over the place gigging. But we had my kids' high school had their first rock band concert last Wednesday.
So,
So that was cool, getting to see all the bands at the high school do their thing. Then I had a couple Christmas gigs. Well, so I'll hit that in a second, T. That's good. Um, but yeah, so had all the holiday parties that I played Thursday and Friday. Saturday I was played a wedding, which I had to rehearse for, which is why I missed last week for this. And then yesterday we were at the Wells Fargo Center all day watching my son open for Trans Siberian Orchestra with the choir that his choir that won the Philly contest, and then that was it.
you
Then
got to
then now
stay.
I'm here.
You got to stay for the concert too, right?
Well, no, I had to buy tickets to the, so it was great. It was,
Uh,
hey, your kid won this awesome honor to go perform at this place, but what you need to do to attend is go spend several $100s on tickets for you and the family so you can watch him um, across the stadium or across the stage that is covered in curtains, so I couldn't really see him.
mm,
Just got to hear him from where our seats were. It was great. Uh,
wow,
but either way, it was an awesome experience for him, and
that's
that's
cool.
all that really matters. And the Trans Siberian Orchestra is fantastic.
Yeah,
If you haven't seen them, it's a blast, that show.
I haven't seen them live.
Still full pyrotechnics, like full everything you'd ever want in a rock concert is what they bring. Um, it feels like very 90s still because the first one was in 99 at the Tower Theater, actually. First Trans Siberian concert ever.
I did not know that.
So they still bring all of the 90s metal show with it. It's great.
As they should.
And yeah, so the lawyer past ethics thing, this lawyers typically are also your ethics team because they tell you what you can do and can't do regarding that stuff in corporations. So, uh,
I see.
yeah, I'm sure none of these kinds of lawyers are not the kinds that we think of when we think of lawyers.
Right.
But how about you, man? I feel like you had something big happen finally this weekend.
I got to drink with Wooten Friday or Thursday.
Oh,
No,
legendary drummer from the Rockets from like '07 to 2010.
yeah.
For anybody
No,
that doesn't.
I finally brought that championship back home. It's been a while in hockey. My team at Ridley, the Ridley Hockey League, we were the Hart Foundation. We did wrestling theme jerseys. I mentioned it earlier in our year on one of our shows. and we were down 3-0. I played like awful the whole game. I
Oh well,
actually,
that's not
yeah, I
good.
actually like kind of sort of benched myself in the like end of the third period because I was just not. I didn't have it. It happens. And we tied it up 3-3. Went into overtime, um, and one of our young gentlemen on our team scored the game-winning goal, and you know, we won that championship, which is my first at that league, and um, it's my first one in a while. Lost one earlier in the year with the over 50 team, and won this one. This was good. It was fun. Um, Other than that, it's just been, I made fudge. I made fudge. I baked fudge. I made fudge the other.
Oh,
I'm making cookies tomorrow. Getting ready for Christmas. Uh,
can
it's
I show off your championship picture? Am I allowed?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm
Trying to
working on
find
it.
a theme for next season, and everybody's discussing and they're throwing around. Maybe we'll do Disney Princess.
For anybody that didn't see.
Yeah.
Uh, oh, hold on. I got to share a tab.
Yeah,
I broke stuff.
you did. We'll pop that up for the live listeners.
Yeah, maybe.
Second, maybe I
We
could.
won't. I don't know how to. Oh, there it is. I found it.
There you go. Find it again,
There we go.
and then we do this, and then we add it to the
And it's
scene.
up here.
Oh, nope.
Nope. Then we spotlight it. Look, we're learning tech as we go.
We are.
So look, fitting for the Heart Foundation.
Yeah. There's a WWE belt there. There's me behind the guy wearing the belt with my hat because it was freaking frigid.
You are the guy behind the guy, Frank.
I am the guy
It is-
behind the
It
guy.
is fitting.
Um, yeah, that was good. It was good times.
Congratulations, man.
Oh, that's not what we want. We want that back. Yeah.
There
Thank
we
you.
go.
Thank you. Alex Boehm isn't getting traded, Dom. I at least not anytime soon. But it's possible that they do.
It is. It'll be March before Boom. It's fine.
Maybe. Do we want to jump into the list, or do we want to like go into like the watching, like what did you watch kind of a thing?
There's
There's
some
so much.
stuff I think you even watched some things. You know, why don't we? Because there's no spoilers to it. Why don't we?
I have what
Um,
Jack watched first.
great. Do you know what I watched? I don't know what I watched.
I have no idea what you watched.
I watched What If.
I did not. What if I watched it and we could talk about it more?
Yeah. Well, I'll hit. So let's given your interest in this. I don't even know if you watched last season. But so they're dropping an episode a day starting Sunday.
What, an episode
So-
a day?
Yeah, for like a week, and then it's over. They did it last Christmas too. Season 2 was not quite up to season 1 standards. I will say that season 3, 2 episodes in so far is it's not good.
No.
No, so I'll just throw out titles here. I
You
just want to get your reaction. It can be the list before the list.
I think I know what one of the episodes kind of is about, but go ahead. Yeah, you're kind of
So the first one, how's that?
better.
Yeah.
Ignore
So
my
the first one is, what if the Hulk fought the Mech Avengers?
Yeah. So I saw something about a mech, and I just was like, nah, I'm good.
So yeah, the premise of that is the Hulk gets overpowered and becomes an alpha gamma monster, and the Avengers had to build mechs to fight it
Yeah.
because there was no other superpowered heroes anywhere. Okay.
Gods. There's no gods. There's no.
Yeah, there's no Eternals on the Earth. Speaking of that, so the next one is what if Agatha went to Hollywood,
Oh.
which is an Agatha and Kinga double feature. If you remember Kinga from
Vaguely.
Eternals,
Oh, okay.
our Bollywood star.
So then that is why the tag of that I saw on Facebook that was MCU finally brings back Eternals after 3 years only to make fun of them.
Yeah, it's rough.
Okay.
It's rough, but I think they're going to use. I think they expected when they were making this because animation so probably started making it 2-3 years ago, which was around when Eternals came out.
Yep.
So problematic. I think they thought the Eternals was going to do well,
Yeah, that's a shame.
and I think they thought a lot of other things were going to do well because as you watch the characters they're highlighting, Like in the first episode, Moon Knight, Shang-Chi, Nakia, all these characters, you were like, oh, I bet when they were writing this, they thought the MCU was going to be flying high by this point.
Yeah.
So it's continuing to give that. So we got, that's the second one. The one premiering tonight at midnight is What If the Red Guardian Stopped the Winter Soldier?
That sounds like it could be good.
It could be. We'll see. Then we got What If Howard the Duck Got Hitched?
Okay, skip. Next.
What if the Emergence destroyed the Earth? The Emergence being when Tiamat was coming out of the center of the Earth. Again, in the Eternals. So
right. It could be good.
Lot of Eternals watching needed to have references for this season.
Okay.
What if 1872? So I'm guessing this is a Yellowstone spinoff.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. It's good.
What if the Watcher disappeared? And what if?
Oh, okay.
So
it sounds like I'm just gonna let you spoil this one for me after tonight. Maybe.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you. Again, I think they had different expectations of where everything was going. Like I said, to get in the first episode to get Simu Liu and not Lupita Nyong'o as Nakia, but then to get Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie and the guy who plays Bruce Banner, who for some reason I can't remember.
Right.
Mark
Ruffalo.
And Mark Ruffalo and like all these other like big names for the first one. I was like, oh, you thought it was very different than it was how things got popular. So yeah, not a great watch so far, but we'll see what happens. And I'm up to season 5 of The Office now too. So that's where I'm at. Yeah.
I definitely want to hear about that.
Oh yeah, and we'll hit Creature Commandos in a bit.
And the Superman stuff, like, yes, don't worry. I am very, very excited to talk about the Superman trailer and the other thing. Very, very excited.
Yeah, so I feel like 14 was a fairly short season, which was surprising.
14?
Season 4, sorry.
Oh. No. No, it was...
Well, there was a lot of double episodes, so it seemed short. Because a lot of them burned through, and they were early in the season. So I think the only ones that I ended up left with was like the Did I Stutter, the Job Fair...
Did I Stutter
and Goodbye Toby.
Did I Stutter and Goodbye Toby were great. Job Fair was okay to me, but
yeah, Did I Stutter was good. Job Fair I enjoyed with the golf thing, but it continues to be like they play Andy a little bit too much.
Keep an eye on Andy.
Yeah, will do. Well, I know. Well, in the next episode, I got to see the proposal, which made no sense.
Right, and the parents, right? You saw the parents in this episode?
Yeah.
Okay. Keep an eye on them.
Got it. So we had them. We had Toby going away, which I was not a fan of because I like Toby quite a bit.
That's okay.
I'm sure he'll be back.
He might be. Did you get season 5?
And then Ryan getting arrested at the end for double bill in sales, which clearly made this whole show fake because that would never happen. Any company that doubled booked sales all over the place, they just get to do that. The next one, I only got one into the next season, which was Weight Loss.
Did you get both of those parts?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think I started those like Saturday night after my gig, and it was late.
Okay. So this episode, and I believe it's in the second part, if you haven't seen the part that happens, if you haven't seen the scene that happens, is the most expensive scene ever filmed on The Office. It costs like It costs like $50,000 to film this.
I've not gotten there yet.
I didn't think you have. You'll know when you do, but I won't spoil it for you. What happens?
So I'm getting through. I think I'm at the halfway point now, almost. Okay. Halfway through the season, I'll be at the halfway point of the show.
Okay.
So I'm excited to hear your Doctor Who.
It's coming. I got sidetracked. No, in a good way. I got sidetracked in a good way.
Got it. Um, so yeah, watch that. I think those are all the things. Silo. I know we're going to talk about Yellowstone. We're going to talk about Creature Commandos.
I'm up to date with both of those. And
That's where I'm at. And then there's another show I think you started watching, right?
okay, so we know that I started Shrinking and was like, this show's okay. Um, After about the second or third episode, it really took off for me, and I haven't been able to stop watching it. I powered through it like literally the whole weekend. And when I say powered through, it wasn't a struggle. It was oh my God, I want to watch the next one. And then I would be
Right.
like, all right, well, I should go to bed. No, I'm going to watch one more and then one more. And then it snowballed the whole, like I spent the whole weekend and I watched everything up to where we are now currently, which is the season finale coming up on the 28th of December.
Yep.
And I didn't realize it was a weekly show. I thought they just dropped it all. And then when I got to
No,
that
Apple
point,
Smart.
yeah, when I got to that point where it's like, okay, I want to watch the season finale and it's not there, I was like, oh, this sucks because I want it. Shrinking is not starring Rick Moranis. Shrinking is starring the incredibly lovable Harrison Ford as a cranky old man. So he's literally playing himself, I think. Right?
Yeah, and the cast all around for that
The,
is amazing.
the cast and the writing for this show are so top notch. It's both, it brings you all the way up here, laughing your ass off, and then it pulls the rug out from under you and brings you all the way down here where you're like, oh my God, this is heartbreaking. And then slowly build you back up again. It's a constant roller coaster in a really, really good way.
Yeah, it's one of the only shows on TV that I've seen in a long time where within a minute and a half you can go from like cackling, laughing at something that happened to like bawling your eyes out because they just take such big swings on
Oh,
both ends.
and
And Ted McGinley, oh my God.
oh my God, I I I've looked at him over the years as the guy that kills shows when he joins them, right? Like their shows,
Hmm.
he was okay in Married with Children. He is like an all-star on this, and he's not really. There's a lot of it where he's not really given a lot, and he just makes so much out of such a little bit of what he has. If that makes sense.
It does. Look, he just takes it, but like the little things he does from a visual and his interactions and his little the way he follows up and like takes a beat after saying a line.
Yep,
So it's brilliant work.
and he's still got
It's
great
it's he does.
hair.
Um, yeah.
Ted McGinn. There's definitely is there. Did they announce a season 3 or like?
I don't know that they have yet.
Okay, because I mean,
It looks like it's not. It does not say that it's ending season 2, so maybe they already got picked up.
well, that's good. It is absolutely one of my favorite shows now, and I can't wait to see how this ends on the 28th. Um,
Uh,
for the
yeah, IMDb looks to already have a season 3, episode 1 set
okay,
up.
cool.
So
And then I think after this, I'm hoping to get to Doctor
Doctor Who.
Who for the new year, or I'll start the new year off with Doctor Who.
Well, there's a Christmas special.
Oh, that's right. I got to watch last year's Christmas special to catch up.
No, that's the beauty of Doctor Who. You don't.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like the Christmas specials are usually fairly standalone stories.
Gotcha.
From what I was listening to, Stephen Moffat was talking about this one because he actually wrote this one. Stephen Moffat is the guy that was the showrunner for the Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi years, and wrote some of the most brilliant episodes of the Doctor Who and the new generations in general. And he's taken over showrunning this episode. So
Gotcha.
he said it's going to be pretty standalone, set up the next season, which is what they'll typically do.
Oh, good.
Or a regeneration. We're just not getting a regeneration, but it's going to set up next season.
Then I'll zip into that one. And that'll be my show watch for the year. I'll start up on Doctor Who.
There we go.
I want to throw so okay. So I have 2 lists that
All right.
but I don't know which. Should we do the Smallville one that I had put on hold? That was the 10 DC characters Smallville introduced and then never used properly.
Sure. Let's see if they hit
Okay, and then the other
all
one.
the ones that we already got other places.
Then the other one is it's going to be 10 classic TV teen dramas that do not hold up today. I haven't even looked at that one. I'm excited.
Yeah, I feel like there's There's a lot of
Okay.
all of them.
Okay, for the 10 DC characters Smallville introduced, this is not spoilers, by the way, and if it is, it's a 10-year-old show. Get over it.
20.
20-year-old show. Number 10, Jor-El. Huge missed opportunity with Jor-El. They
Yeah, I don't know. I think you had enough of Pa Kent that you didn't need to dig down the Jor-El. They never went too far into the Kryptonian side with the.
Yeah, and that's fine. Number 9, Slade Wilson. I agree. I think he was very underutilized.
Who played Slade on Smallville? I can't
Michael
remember.
Hogan, who was?
Oh yeah, that's right. It was not good. It was the bad casting.
Yeah, Michael Hogan was great in Battlestar Galactica as Colonel Ty, and he's pretty much great in everything else he does. That was just not good casting, and they didn't develop him good.
No, yeah, not. I mean, he was already, and crazy to say, 20 years ago, 50 was very different than today, 50.
Yes,
And he was already in his mid 50s there, so like not the right guy to be a martial artist.
Number 8, I think you might agree with this, Blue Beetle.
No, they introduced Jaime Reyes, who was my least favorite Blue Beetle. So
They didn't
them leaving
use
him out.
him right, or it just kind of like they used it and it went nowhere.
No, he's expensive, so they didn't know how to use him.
So it'd be
based on the movie. You remember the movie that came out with YOLO? Yeah.
Cover 4?
Yeah, expensive.
Yeah. So that would lean in a number 7, Booster Gold.
Who I agree, very underutilized, but a tough character because, as a lot of these things are, and we'll talk about this in a little bit with some of the other stuff, there's so much other things you have to know for Booster Gold to really be effective.
Right.
Like you have to know about the Legion of Superheroes and some backstory, and they did do some of that on there, but like he was after the Legion of Superheroes.
So then that leads into number 6, Dr. Fate.
Well, he's Justice Society.
But underutilized?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think he was when they were introduced to Justice Society, he was there. He's also super overpowered.
Yeah. Yeah. Number 5, I absolutely agree with Mr. Mxyzptlk.
Mxyzptlk?
Yeah, Mxyzptlk. They definitely wasted that character. As a character that recurs in Superman comics, I didn't like that episode as much.
Personally. Yeah, I think they made up for him on Supergirl though, because he was so great. By was Tom Lemon, I believe.
I think so.
Played him on Supergirl and was brilliant with it. But that's a tough character because again, like the ones they didn't play with are the ones that are so overpowered that like how do you do it without a ton of crazy effects and like.
Well, then that again, with the ton of crazy effects, Doomsday at number 4. Did they waste Doomsday trying to cram that story? I think they built him up good. Like there was a really nice build up to him, and the backstory I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think they needed Doomsday
in
Smallville.
I think they were just trying to cram in Superman stuff.
Everybody is so fired up to cram in that, but I mean, you had 60 years of Superman stories before you got to Doomsday. Like, there's other stuff that everybody could do.
All right, so number 3, Martian Manhunter. Was he wasted?
I don't think so, but I don't see him as tied to Superman as much, where he's needed for those storylines, because he's basically the same power set as Superman,
right?
Only more.
Number 2, Vandal Savage. That was the Dean Cain appearance.
Yeah, Vandal Savage is an amazing character. I don't tie him directly to Superman, though.
No, he's more Legends when they cast him different, right?
Well, he was in that, but no, I mean in the comics, he's more tied to the Justice Society.
Oh, okay. T, I'm going to tell you that is absolutely not correct now, at least in my opinion.
Big screen. Big
screen. I apologize. I will retract my statement. I did not read that.
So T said they've never done Doomsday correctly on the big screen.
He
has now been done correctly on the small screen.
Yes.
Thankfully.
And number 1, Darkseid.
Yeah, but again, like he's not even Superman yet. Like there was only so many things they could burn. Like all those characters, like you can only do so much of them as Smallville and Clark, right? Like you need Superman and all of that to really make it a little more palatable for some of those big swings they tried to take off and on.
Yep.
Even Mr. Mixes-Pitalik, it makes more sense to do that with Superman versus
Right.
the guy running around in a red shirt or
Uh,
red hoodie guy.
I'm gonna skip the other list for another show and just kind of go to the normal stuff because there's other stuff that we want to talk about.
There is.
There's much other stuff. Um,
I,
I go ahead.
no, I'll let you respond to T
Well,
before we hop into the list because I think it's a valid point. Did you finish it finally, T? I know you'd been bowing out because you hadn't gotten there.
that's what I wanted. I didn't want to make. I don't want to make any big comments because I don't know how far into the show T is. So I will wait for him to reply as I scroll through the box office list for this week, and get the box office numbers ready here.
Oh, I bet Red One came back and won it all, right?
Well, in the number one spot for this weekend in a 3-day total. Okay, so I'm not going to comment on the Superman thing, and it is highly debatable. I'm not going to say anything until you finish it, and that's all to keep spoilery stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
So I wanted to check first before we got there.
No, yeah, right. I would like to hear after you see the last three. I would like to absolutely discuss that. So number one this weekend with a 3-day total of $62 million, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which is just getting rave reviews all over the place.
Look, they are all completely watchable. I enjoy the second one immensely because
I haven't watched them, but I kind of am leaning towards I want to watch them now after seeing all of this. And that's one weekend. It debuted. It finished ahead of Mufasa the Lion King, which also debuted and is at 35 million for.
I mean, that looks awful. So I don't blame them for.
Yeah. At number 3 in its 5th weekend, Wicked pulled in 13.5 million to sit at 383.9 million domestically. These are not globally.
Look, it's still going.
At number 4 in its 4th weekend is Moana 2 at 13.1 million, to bring its total to 359 million. And then the top 5 is Homestead. In its first weekend, pulled in 6 million for the three.
Do we know what Homestead is?
I have no idea what Homestead is. I'm actually looking that up now because I wasn't sure. Homestead is. Homestead is. I'm still waiting. What is Homestead?
Yeah.
A former Green Beret and other survivors take refuge inside an elaborate compound when an attack on America leaves the world in chaos. Starring Neil McDonough, Dawn Olivieri, who was in Yellowstone.
Got it. I mean, it's got your.
Yeah.
It's got Neil McDonough for you.
Yeah, I can see why it makes that 6 million. It's not something it's a nuclear bomb is detonated in Los Angeles.
Got it. Sounds great.
Yeah, I'm okay seeing that.
So, oh yeah, Don Oliver. Got it. So back to the Sonic thing real quick, just to call out why they're so enjoyable because they're not good. But Natasha Rothwell, who is in at least the second one, I don't remember if she's in the first one. I think she might pop up in the first one. Is brilliant in the second one. You'd know her from I don't know. Did you watch White Lotus season 1?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Who?
White Lotus?
No. Who's the actress?
Natasha Rothwell.
No. No.
She was the masseuse in White Lotus season 1. She's done a ton of voice stuffs.
Okay.
She's been in all sorts of things. She is brilliant in Sonic 2. Like, makes it fun to watch. Her and more from God damn it, SWAT.
I have no idea who she is. So.
Oh, she was in Insecure too. Yeah, she's a blast.
In one of my
Shamar Moore. The two of them are amazing.
Okay. Him, I know.
Off each other. Yeah, they are highly watchable.
In one of my favorite stories to talk about, there is a movie coming out called Pooniverse Monsters Assemble.
Yeah.
A lot more info on this. So this is a culmination of the Twisted Childhood universe. They're talking about this in the same vein as Freddy vs. Jason and the Avengers. The Pooniverse plot will bring together the horror versions of Winnie the Pooh, Peter Pan, Bambi, Pinocchio, and many others who team up to hunt down their survivors. Now, they're actually getting a bigger budget for this. So, these are the two quotes from the people behind this movie, okay? Similar to the Avengers, we will follow Pooh, Tigger, Rabbit, Owl, Piglet, Pinocchio, Sleeping Beauty, Bambi, the Mad Hatter, Peter Pan, and Tinkerbell, all joining forces to wreak havoc. We're working on a larger scale budget on this one and are excited for what the future will hold. When you see the standalone movies, you'll see the Easter eggs hinting toward the crossover. Some of the villains also will not see eye to eye, which will allow for some carnage within the group in some epic sequences of monster versus monster.
Everything about the Pooniverse
Look, it gets better.
Okay? Sounds insane.
It gets even better. Explaining how the monsters will all collide, Scott Jeffrey revealed Pooniverse Monsters Assemble will introduce Mary Poppins to the TCU, they're calling it. Okay? Teasing she will be a nightmare in the film. The movie will have a massive body count in which those killed may not get the resurrection treatment, warning the audiences will be able to count on a hand who's going to survive. He said that he saw the Avengers movie and loved when they all got dusted and was sad to see them all come back, and wants to do the opposite of that, where they die and they don't come back, basically.
Yeah. So this sounds like they're going to go the route with Mary Poppins, where she is considered to be Pennywise. Like the same kind of creature as Pennywise.
That would be awesome.
She feeds off the joy of children versus the fear of them, which Pennywise does.
The other movies announced thus far are Awakening, Sleeping Beauty, and Snow White Returns. In addition to the Peter Pan, Bambi, and Pinocchio.
I will have some more time coming up in January, so maybe I will make it my mission to start getting through this Pooniverse stuff.
Yeah, that looks really good. And now on to sad news. There is a live-action He-Man movie coming.
Yeah, this cast is going to be phenomenal, right? They could go wrong again.
Well, let me get the cast list up
with this, right?
Here we go. Masters of the Universe. Let's get the cast here real fast. We got Evil Lynn as played by Alison Brie. We have He-Man, Prince Adam of Eternia, played by Nicholas Galitzine.
Yep.
Okay. Man-at-Arms, played by Idris Elba. Good cast. I like that. Camila Mendez as Tila. The Mountain from Game of Thrones, playing Goatman.
Yeah, like what a waste.
Yeah.
How do you not cast him as Beastman?
Sam C. Wilson as Trapjaw.
Yep. I'm glad that they decided to put Trapjaw. Of all the villains, we went with Trapjaw.
And then, don't forget Kojo Ata as Triclops. And we just got a word of who Skeletor is. Skeletor being He-Man's arch nemesis, the main villain of the show, Jared Leto.
Yeah, it's wild.
Why? Why? I love the evil. I like the rest of the cast. I just don't understand why we got to squeeze Jared Leto in. Like,
yeah. He doesn't even fit the character.
No.
Do you remember Goatman, by the way? Because I was a pretty big fan of He-Man, and I don't remember Goatman at all.
No.
That apparently he was a character. He was in Revelation. Oh, maybe that's why.
No, I don't even
But I,
remember this toy, and I had Lobot growing up from Star Wars.
yeah, I mean, I had Triclops and Trapjaw.
I remember Triclops and Mount.
Ram Man. There you go, Brett.
I know Fisto.
I don't know that he was ever on the show. He was never on the show.
I've never heard of him.
He's a character from one of the little books published in the 1985 Masters of the Universe story "Secret of the Dragon's Egg," published by Golden Books.
He's not even in the picture, like of all the villains standing behind Skeletor.
No, and then he appeared briefly in Masters of the Universe Revelation as a side character with Pigman.
I would rather see Fisto.
And Kevin Smith voiced him.
Oh,
I would take Fisto.
I'd take Fisto in a heartbeat.
Are we still talking about? Never mind. Anyway,
well, it is absolutely destined to be bad. It really is.
Yeah. It's frightening how bad that's likely going to be. And I don't know, the director looks like a weird choice anyway, because he's only directed looks like animation, like stop motion.
I don't.
Or his claims to fame. He did the box, or he directed Kubo and the Two Strings, Paranorman, the Box Trolls, and that's the guy we got directing. Oh, he did direct Bumblebee. All right. Bumblebee was good, but I think that was more the writing and stuff. I don't know. I'm not in.
Angela, even at 86, he's still probably better than Jared.
100%.
Anyway, all right. I got a list of stuff coming out in 2025 before we dip over to other stuff. Right? So we have What If Season 3 is out now. Yay.
Yeah, you're super soaked, I can tell.
Squid Game Season 2 comes out day after Christmas.
Oh, that's what I watched.
Okay.
So Mr. Beast has a show, the Beast Wars or whatever it's called, which is basically Squid Game.
Okay.
Where he's giving away $5 million as the grand prize.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Started with 1,000 contestants. And he's like doing like just the most random things to cut them or bribe them to quit, or like, it's wild.
Okay.
The amount of money this dude's throwing at people. But the first 2 episodes, they already threw out $2 million to people.
Damn.
In prize money.
So that's
and he's only down to 500 people. Like still, or maybe 300, but a lot still.
Where's that on?
Amazon.
Oh, okay. Oh, I like Amazon. We're gonna have a busy 2025. That's what I'm saying now. We have a lot, and this isn't even movies. Like, this is just like the TV stuff. Like, I'm not even looking at movies yet.
Yeah.
So, end of January 2029, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Okay. I don't know that either one of us is going to watch that.
Maybe. February 6th, Season 3, Invincible. I will be caught up by that.
Okay.
Season 1, March 4th, Daredevil Born Again.
Okay.
Andor Season 2, April 22nd.
It's good.
Then they
look. That's right after Daredevil should be.
Yep.
Oh no, it won't be wrapped up by then.
No, it should.
It's more than 6 episodes.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Then we have Game of Thrones and Night of the Seven Kingdoms, June 15th. Right a week later, we have Ironheart, June 24th. Can't wait for that. Eyes of Wakanda, Season 1, and Peacemaker Season 2, both in August. No date. No.
I think those are the first 2 things you've said I'm excited about besides Daredevil. Well, no, that's not true. Andor 2.
Okay. And then we have in October, Marvel Zombies. I'm good. December, we have Wonder Man. Spring of 2025, you have Season 2 of The Last of Us. And then there's 4 things that are to be determined in 2025. It, Welcome to Derry, Alien Earth, Stranger Things, and Star Wars Visions.
Look, Visions has been good. I've enjoyed Visions. It's a little weird. I like the Tales of better, because even those backstories was actually kind of fascinating the way they did that. Comic book reading, since nobody, I didn't get any real great suggestions for Marvel stuff because I'm trying to stick with Marvel stuff. I started Avengers, from the first issue.
Oh wow, that has
So
to
I'm on issue number 9 now, which you reminded me of when you mentioned Wonder Man, because his first appearance was Avengers number 9. And
Thank you,
T with the Ironheart is my most anticipated show. Never.
thank you, T. That really
But
caught me in the funny.
see the other note from Dom about the first 2 episodes of Beast Games cost over $40 million.
That's absolutely insane.
Dude, it's like he built a city.
Oh, that's crazy.
Like the dude has more money than he knows what to do with, which is great. And it's just him and his buddies like hosting this random game show. It's wild. I think they all get fed Beast Burgers and Beast Feastables, and that's going to be their diet. So they'll all be fighting diabetes by the end of the series. It'll be great.
I'm going to read you this line from an upcoming movie that just finished production and is set to come out really soon in 2026.
Okay.
This is from the Mandalorian and Grogu.
Oh
The
god.
Mandalorian and Grogu will truly mark a monumental moment in the franchise.
Will it?
That's what it says. That's
What's going to be monumental there? Do we know?
I don't know. The feature film will star Pedro Pascal and Sigourney Weaver, and glimpse we got at D23 promises other familiar faces, including Zeb Orrelius and a gaggle of Anzellans. Sorry, 2024, but we're already eyeing May 22nd, 2026. With that being said, I don't think they will kill Grogu, but at this point, I don't know what they're going to do. Grogu may be a Palpatine at this point. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
Um,
I'd love to get into that movie. I have like zero invested in that story at this point.
Right now, I'm not. Since I brought up Star Wars, Skeleton Crew, you forgot about that one, right?
I know. I put that on my list when you mentioned Andor. I was like, oh yeah. It's utterly forgettable. It's decent. I mean, it's better than it was. They've started to introduce some mystery elements of like a broader overarching mystery, but is it anything that I'm like worried about? And it's a toss up, right? Because like everybody is get away from the Skywalkers, do things that don't require you to go to loot, right? Get away from that family and get away from the old movie, and they're doing that, and I'm like, yeah, but I don't know that I have any vested interest in it. Then that's where I'm split right now, because I'm like, some of it's neat and like I kind of want to invest, but I can't do it.
I would watch a movie, as Brett says, Grogu goes through his emo years. I would watch a movie about Grogu in his emo years.
As long as he fights a Skywalker, then it's fine.
I mean, if he fights a Skywalker.
Him getting as whiny as Luke was in the first movie, oh my god, it'd be great.
I'm not invested in this show. And I'm sure it's great for kids, and I hope kids love it, and I hope it brings a whole new audience to Star Wars. I do. But I'm not invested in it. I don't care why these planets are hidden. I've already kind of figured out the importance of Jude Law's character, I think, and why he's so interested in getting to At-Aten. Because I think he's from one of the other planets.
Could be.
But other than that, the kids are a little bit more likable this episode. The little curly-haired boy that I didn't like for 3 episodes is a little bit... Wait, how many episodes are we in?
4.
Oh, okay.
He's
a little bit better.
He's less in them, which makes it...
Right. I like the little elephant kid still, Neil. I do like him. The 2 girls I like, but they seem to have taken a little bit of a back seat this episode, which is fine.
Yeah, it was a Neil episode.
Yeah, it was a Neil, and that's fine. But I mean, like, you could tell me tomorrow, you could spoil the whole end of it for me tomorrow, and I'd just be like, yeah, okay, cool. I just freed up a couple hours of my life now.
Yeah, I'm happy to finish this off.
No, it's not for me, and that's
correct.
Fine.
It's not for either one of us, which is great. It shouldn't all be for us, right? It's fine. Star Wars Resistance was not for us.
No,
even like the shows before it, I believe were that one. That was the first one where they made something not for the diehards. That was to try and grab a new crowd.
Um, over on the other side of Disney, in the Marvel side of Disney, I'm going to save the Superman for last because I really want to talk a couple minutes about the whole Superman trailer and everything. Captain America: Brave New World did reshoots, and Anthony Mackie addressed the fact that they did reshoots and basically said this is typical for Marvel. They didn't change the plot, they didn't add or remove, they didn't remove anything. It was just more, we have the movie down, we're just taking some shots to edit out some scenes. I'm not worried about the movie. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, let's go. I'm tired of waiting.
Well,
There's only like a month and a half left, so it's close.
Yeah, February's right around the corner. And I guess technically Craven counts as MCU for right now.
No, it doesn't.
Kind of. It's so it opened at $11 million domestically, which was actually less than Madam Web's $15.4 million.
It's doing great.
And it had a 72% drop in ticket sales, which makes the possibility of the film making back its budget, $120 million, not good. It currently sits at roughly $17.4 million as of Sunday. Globally, it's sitting at 42.
Yeah, they shouldn't have held on to it for an extra year, maybe. And it would have been fine.
No. Great. I don't know. I didn't see a never after what T said, that it was the greatest super villain movie of all time.
Yeah, it's. I mean, there's some other news with it, right? We got the other news that apparently with that, after they've been talking about how bad Craven was, the rumor came out that Sony could have used Tom Holland whenever they wanted to. They just didn't think that people wanted that in these movies, which is wild. But yeah, they really
able to use him when they wanted.
Supposedly, that's what rumor mill was coming out, that they could have used him whenever they wanted to. They chose not to.
I thought that was
so they did that, but my concern is, like, now they've introduced all these big villains that people didn't know about, and they burned them. Like, they ruined all of these characters that we could have gotten in the MCU, which now we can't, or it's going to be harder to introduce them. Like, if we're getting a new trilogy, because that was apparently news that just came out too, that the next Spider-Man one's going to be a full trilogy, and we're going to get
great
Gwen Stacy as the love interest instead of Zendaya.
Yeah. They ruined Craven.
But in the Craven movie, which we didn't see yet, right? They had rhinos in it, chameleons in it.
Saw a picture of that.
Calypso's in it. Like, all these characters. Calypso is more no, she was Spider-Man. She was Eric Larson, Todd McFarlane era. They introduced all these characters and they just burned them. So it sucks. I think the video games have done a better job at introducing these characters than the movies have from Sony. So that's what's so frustrating about it. You watch them do these characters right in Spider-Man 2 and Miles Morales, and then they throw them in their movie and they can't figure it out. It's a shame. Because Craven in the video game is fantastic.
Yes. Oh, I agree. And I still haven't even finished that.
Yeah.
No. All right. I want to talk about the good fun stuff. I want to talk about the best boy.
Yellowstone?
Oh, yeah, Yellowstone. Let's do that first. Let's get to the best.
Is that your good boy? Is Rip your good boy?
Look, Yellowstone ended.
Come on, you told me how great it was. I went and burned through it.
I said
that not the finale. I meant the show.
Oh, the only good part.
I went and became invested in Yellowstone just for you, Frank.
Only good part of that finale was the funeral scene. That's it. The rest of it was just a waste of freaking time. The whole rest of that episode, it did nothing. It did nothing.
Yeah, it didn't really even set up any follow-ups or sequels or anything.
Well, it supposedly did, but now, like, so Beth and Rip didn't move to Texas. They're staying in Montana.
Yeah, so they're not going to the 4 Sixes.
No, they're staying in Dillon, Montana. I don't know. Look, that show for me ended when Kevin Costner left. Yeah, that that was.
Yeah, this follow up, the Jamie piece to it was rough. Like complete waste of Wesley, whatever his name is, Bennett. What's his name?
Oh yeah, that
Wes.
whole yeah.
Yeah, complete waste of him as an actor for this entire second half of this season.
Yep.
They tried to make it the Beth show, which it never was. It was
No.
always Beth as a side character to John Dutton or Kevin Costner, and losing him and then trying all of a sudden to make these other characters matter was
No.
not. It
No.
didn't work.
No, none of it worked. It did none of it worked at all. It just that whole finale was just like I hated it, and I was a big proponent of that show. I loved that show, and I hated it.
Yeah, I don't think it did anything to set anything up either, because there was all these talks about it's going to set up all these spinoffs, and I'm like, no, I don't think that it did anything to set up any spinoffs.
No, and who knows if he's even going to do it? He's got so many other shows in his pipeline.
And the more they go with the show, like the less Beth and Rip even make sense.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got rid of the ranch. Now, what the hell's your point? And you tore the ranch down. So what is your point of being? What do I want to go watch the same exact show, but them in Dillon, Montana, doing the same exact thing that they did over here with none of the cast that made the show fun?
Yeah, there's nothing about Beth that strikes me as like she wants to live on a ranch. Like no.
No.
Why would
and Casey and his wife are over here doing the exact same thing that he tried to get away from the ranch all this time and away from his father. So he's going to do the exact same thing over here with his son.
Yeah, he's doing 1883. That's all Casey's doing.
Is he?
I mean, I watched the first 5 minutes of the first episode, but it feels like it's the same show as that one, where they first founded the land, right? Like he's doing the same thing.
I'll tell you,
it's a cycle.
When Kevin Costner got into office to the end of the break of that season wasn't bad. It was when Costner leaves the show, the whole thing goes downhill. Like seriously, It takes a nosedive. And I was really excited for it to come back. And after the first 2 episodes after it came back, I was like, huh?
This felt like Taylor Sheridan trying to finish out his contract that he had. It's whatever.
It does.
Yeah.
But
not great.
But the best thing that happened last week, my manager stopped work and put it on the TV at work. I was late that morning. I had scheduled to come in later that morning. The Superman trailer, the teaser trailer came out. There's 2 minutes and 20 seconds of, I was blown away. I really was. Now, side note to that, I've seen people that were complaining about it a little bit and saying that they didn't like the way the colors were and it was shaded a little bit different. And some of those people that then saw it in the movie theater said that, oh my God, now it makes sense. So on a big movie theater screen, it kind of like...
It looks like he shot it with Marvel colors.
And I had no problem.
Not Zack Snyder colors.
Right. I am a huge Henry Cavill Superman fan, and this guy looks like, and Dom said it when he reviewed it, Dom said that he thinks that this guy, David Cornsweet, who, by the way, was born and raised in Philadelphia, is a huge Eagles fan, and went to school out in Bryn Mawr. This guy, he said, could be the best Superman ever. That's what Dom said. I think this guy is going to crack my top 3. I loved everything about this trailer. I loved the dog. I loved, now he hates the movie. The online backlash from the Snyder Universe fans is it's just crazy to read some of the comments. I
haven't dug into the Snyderverse comments of them.
It's bad out there. But if you go back 12 years and look at the suit that they introduced with Henry Cavill in the picture, they were all over that as awful too. People said the same.
I'm sure.
This suit basically is. James Gunn basically said he didn't want to have a suit with a bunch of fake muscles. Not saying that Henry Cavill had fake muscles, but That's why it looks a little baggier. It's not super
Yeah.
tight.
But to be fair to the fact that it's the Snyder people, but it could be like 500 people because that's really all it is, right? They're just super vocal, and everybody picks them up and is like, "Ooh, look, a story to run with," and so that's what gets the extra traction because now those same voices are the ones that are on Den of Geek and Screen Rant and all those other.
Oh, it's on the comicbook.com pages, and it's on this
Yeah,
page, and it's on that page, and it's just and I'll scroll through a handful of them, and it's the same basic thing over and over. I thought everything about the trailer, everybody looks good. Everything looks great.
yeah. I think it's going to be interesting to see how it pulls the Metamorpho stuff in because the other characters kind of make sense. And I pointed out to you, right? We get that one shot of Stag Industries.
Yep.
So Simon Stagg is the Metamorpho's father-in-law.
Right.
And you get some interesting play there, and he's kind of the reason that Rex ended up becoming Metamorpho. So I'm wondering if we get like a random Metamorpho origin story in this.
So there are. See who.
But I bet you Simon Stagg is who John Malkovich is playing.
That's who I couldn't remember who it was. Yes, that would probably make sense. I also like how Clark and Superman look completely different. Like not just a hunched over guy, but like the hair is completely different. He's got the poofed out wig.
Yeah, that's a weird play to switch fast from, though.
Maybe.
Does he generate like super spit and get in his hand and comb his hair down real fast?
I mean, he does move faster than the Flash, right? So, and there's
that's depends on canon for the week. There's nobody faster than Flash, by the way, in the comics at this point. Wally West is the fastest being ever of all time anywhere.
I thought. Now I've read a couple of different little things that the dog is not just this obedient little puppy, that he's kind of like a little wild and crazy animal, and not like, so it's like a dog with superpowers, and it wasn't really easy to train, so he was kind of goofy, and from the way I read it is the dog's a handful to take care of, which is fine. That's great.
Got it.
That's fine. Nicholas Hoult looks great in the brief moments we got him. I like the Hitman vibes with the gun, and maybe it's that's gross.
Yeah, look, he has enough to be angry about. I mean, he was supposed to be Batman and Superman,
Yep.
and ended up Lex Luthor. So clearly, he's going to have some feelings.
And apparently, so Mr. Terrific is going to be like one of the more central side characters. Like he's going to have a little bit more meat to his story.
So that makes sense because once Mr. Terrific, this iteration was introduced in the comics in like the late 90s, he became central to everything.
Right, and I'm fine with that.
So he was a JSA member, right? As a legacy as Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific originally was a 1940s character in the comic books.
Yeah. Right.
No, he was the smartest man, one of the smartest men alive. Was the play for it. Even back then, and it was Fair Play. Fair Play was his the big belt. He had a wrestler's belt, and that was what was written on there. And now it's on the jacket for the new Mr. Terrific.
Like from the actors.
No, but that's in the comics too.
Okay.
And has been. This guy looks more like the one in the comic books, but then he's even had his own series since then. He's joined the Justice League. Like they've done a lot with Mr. Terrific, bringing him into a central character and kind of the Tony Starkish version of like Wally West works for him in the Flash comics now.
I read something else that James Gunn wants Robert Pattinson to be his Batman too, and Matt Reeves is kind of pushing back against that a little bit.
Is that the story now? I know we talked about it last episode. We did.
That was one of the stories. Now, I know there's going to be a ton of rumors and a ton of this and that, and I don't want to read about the movie more. I like breaking down the trailers and seeing the stuff, and there's a guard reading the newspaper, and that's something. And, the pullback shot of Luthor Corp. Thank you for bringing that name back. there's a character running across the rooftop, and somebody zoomed in, and that's where that's the engineer. Finally got my engineer.
You did.
Is actually running across that rooftop. We have an already established group of metahuman superheroes in this world, and not being an origin story, as I think we've mentioned it before, I think is a great move.
It looks like we're past Lois and Clark being the does she know, does she not know, because she's with Superman and with Clark in this.
Yep. Unless she still doesn't know they're both the same person.
Yeah, but then Clark's not as good of a guy if he's hooking up with her as Superman, right? Like, and hiding from her as Clark. Like, that's a weird dynamic.
But I like that we're getting a Superman already in the midst of being a Superman instead of,
100%.
Instead of getting the Superman that's just starting out, or Superman that's been gone for 10 years, old enough to have a kid, and then brought back and then back, and right. Like, again, I loved Brandon Ruth, but I want Superman in his prime doing Superman stuff, not Superman at the beginning.
Right.
And the last time we got him kind of in his prime was Superman 2, right? And Superman 2, 3-ish, he was kind of more like in his prime.
I know all of them, because he had to fight Nuclear Man in 4.
Yeah, I don't remember that one as much on purpose. No, I don't. But I think, I think that I really do think that this is going to be a $1 billion grand slam movie.
I do. It's going to be massive. I think it's going to hit all the right notes. Don with some things in the chat about Nathan Fillion loves the bowl cut.
Absolutely.
It shows that they're going that Justice League without Superman era, which it looks like is what we're going to have. And this, what I bet we see over the course of the DCU is the Justice League had all of these members in it, right? And they all left at some point. And this is the team that has replaced the core Justice League with your Guy Gardner and your Hawk Girl and Mr. Terrific and all of them. They're all working for Maxwell Lord or right. Sean Gunn, because why not? Keep making him money. Get him casted on as many things as possible. He's already got 3 roles in the new DCU.
Oh, that's something else. We gotta.
Yeah. So we'll hit that real quick after this. But I think you get that, and then this is where you learn that Superman and Supergirl and Batman and Wonder Woman need to come back to the Justice League to get it out of this corporate mindset. Because I bet you see, like, the Justice League gets mixed in with the Authority.
Yeah.
And then, like, they become a Maxwell Lord thing, and then, like, the real Justice League has to go and fight back to him. I bet we get there, but I don't think it's going to be any time quick based on how James Gunn is moving movies around, because Supergirl is now the second movie.
Yeah.
Because it was ready to go.
Well, that and he loved the script. He said he read the script and he thought the script.
Well, he said it was a complete script. The other ones aren't, so he's going with that. So we'll see where it ends up. I like the trailer quite a bit too, though.
I personally trust James Gunn. I trust him. I thought so far he's built up good equity with me between Guardians and Peacemaker season 1.
Very similar tone there with those and the Suicide Squad, though. So it's going to be interesting to see him do something different. I didn't watch Brightburn, but Brightburn still was dark, right?
The last thing that I have to say about the trailer is, if what I read, again, I like to bounce all over the place and read from different places. One of the rumors, or maybe it was just someone hopeful, that the Instagram teaser that he put out the day before the trailer, that theme is Kal-El's mom humming that to him before he gets in the ship and goes off. That would be freaking epic if they did that. That would be so epic if they could fit that in and make that happen. But
see, we got time.
And I'm sorry. This is the last thing. This won't be a typical soundtrack-based movie like he's done in his other shows and movies. This is going to be a score. So there won't be quick pop hits and pop hit and pop hit.
Oh, there will be.
he said it's going to be a score as opposed to a Guardian.
Yeah, he'll still pull some stuff in though, because that's what he does, just in general. So I
Yeah,
think we'll get a score, which there really wasn't to the other ones, right? The score was the pop stuff.
correct.
So like I think you get a combo this one, where I think we'll still get a couple.
You think we'll get You think we'll get the Peacemaker theme in the background?
No, I mean, look.
The only other thing left on the docket, real fast, since I know we're over, is Creature Commandos,
Which had the saddest thing James Gunn has ever written in his last episode.
Oh my God!
Quote from James Gunn. When
I
he finished it, he said he turned over to his wife and said, "I just wrote the saddest thing I've ever written."
I would turn to her and say anything. No, it was not what I expected. I totally, it hit me out of left field, and it was definitely a gut punch of an episode.
Yeah, so we're 2 weeks off, right? So we had
Yeah.
This is the Weasel episode we're talking about, which gives you a background on Weasel. So if you haven't watched Creature Commandos, spoilers, but we had the GI robot episode,
Favorite episode,
and then the Weasel episode. Both of them,
GI
phenomenal backstories.
The GI episode was absolutely my favorite episode. I will note that watching the Weasel episode after watching a couple episodes of Shrinking, not the best idea before bed. Absolutely did not have a good night's sleep that night.
I will go in with T with I wasn't a fan of the last episode like he was of the Brides episode.
No.
I don't. So the backstory was tragic and really well told. It did not do much to move the plot of the actual show forward.
No.
So this was the first episode. There was like no real storyline movement,
right?
From what we got. We did see Cersei captured. All the news sites have been reporting, "Oh my God, this is the first glimpse of the Justice League members." Like, no, it's not. It's the animation was done 2 years ago before anybody was cast, or James Gunn was running the DCU for the most part. Like
so he did say that in that flash forward,
yeah,
that the heroes hanging up, that some of them are what they're going to look like. Some of them he kind of had to think about what might look like, and they will change in the future.
Right. There's zero chance in 2026 or 7 or whatever year that we get Wonder Woman in the Linda Evans costume. Like or Linda Carter costume. Zero chance.
T said that if you want a good night's sleep, try to watch Red One. After 15 minutes, you'll sleep like a baby. Maybe we'll talk about that next week. I didn't think the episode, like you said, for Weasel was as strong as the first couple, and it definitely didn't move the plot forward. No. The GI robot is by far my favorite episode so far. The robot.
Yeah. Couple weird holes in there, and I think I texted you this. I was like, so wait a minute. The guy that bought him and then raised him for however many years didn't realize that he was an anti-Nazi robot and didn't notice he had guns in his arm that were fully loaded with ammo still, even though he put him back together. Like, that was a little, I was like, wait. Yeah. So this guy's, the bullets are all fine, because he was like de-rusting him, remember?
Yep.
And then out of nowhere, I'm like,
yes, the Weasel Paulie.
Yes. I mean, if Weasel had been voiced by Pauly Shore, that would have been the biggest win of all time.
It would have. But I saw
much better than Sean Gunn.
I saw that outcome coming when that guy bought him. Like I picked up on that and was like, oh, this is going to be good.
Yeah, it was. I mean, just great. And I fully agree with where that episode went with it all. But 100%. I'm hoping GI Robot comes back, because like that was a fun character.
It really was.
But it's also kind of lame if you're doing this is the Suicide Squad monster version. The only person you killed off is the robot. Like, come on, let's do some things and get rid of. I don't need a Dr. Phosphorus backstory. Let's just shoot him in the head and let Alan Tudyk be somebody else.
I am really, really enjoying Frankenstein's monster. Also, he's doing a great job. David Harbour's doing just a great job.
Absolutely. So in our next one, no name or title or anything yet. So I guess we'll just find out
Ooh, I like it.
whatever day that is, Thursday, what's going on there.
Day after Christmas.
So yeah. So I think we hit all the things that we had to hit. So
Yes, we did.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy anything else anybody's celebrating over the next stretch. We'll be back next week. We'll do our top
Something.
shows, top things. Probably our top things of 2024.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
we yeah, there's some shows we both watched. There's some shows we didn't both watch. There's a lot of movies that we didn't get to.
I
So
do have the worst movies of 2024 as a list just kind of sitting there. So that should
great.
be on the list.
We can hit that.
Yes.
So check me out, jackkidmusic.com. I'll be down in Philly this week at Con Murphy's on Friday. And then, see y'all next year after that from the music side. But catch us out. Thanks for finding the Geek Spot.
Thank
Visit
you.
Frank on Gimzack and look at that picture of his hockey team in all their glory again. And
Thank you.
it'll be glorious.
It
And
will.
we'll see y'all next time.
Merry Christmas.